Is Flesh and Blood TCG actually collectible? Let's talk about that today. Hey guys and girls, Poketin King here, back with another video. And today, as I mentioned, we will talk about Flesh and Blood and whether or not the game's actually collectible here. So voice is a lot better now. We've recovered over the illness that we have. So we're back to back, getting into making the content. And it's a topic that has been brought up since Flesh and Blood basically came out. But more so recently, these past 12 months, with a lot of the changes, a lot of people left the game. A lot of people are looking in and going, is this game collectible? So, you know, we're going to talk about that today because it's quite an interesting topic. I think depending on who you ask, they'll agree or disagree. I think if you ask a lot of the people that were in early, that perhaps in the last 12 months really haven't bought very much Flesh and Blood, I think they'd argue the game isn't collectible. So I'm going to talk about kind of for and against here, because honestly, there's actually a lot to talk about on both sides. So in terms of it not being collectible, I think the reprints of certain cards, a lot of the promos, is a big red flag for a lot of people. Obviously, we know that Flesh and Blood has a cold foil reprint policy, but we know that they can technically print things in Marvel. We're not sure how that works still yet. A lot of cards have been reprinted now with different artworks, promos, which is something that some people are happy with and some people think that it's a really bad thing. I think the way they're doing some of the promos in terms of like they did the sigils and the Ravenous Rabble, I think they're really good. I think that's a great idea. They're fantastic. Obviously, we've got promos still being released for all these events. I think it's a really good thing to kind of symbolize that event. Now, I know they've changed it now to they'll last a couple events. So the sigil for Barcelona, for instance, did more than that, more than just one event, and the Singapore one as well. I think personally they should be for the event. It makes no sense to get a card that isn't in theme with the event at a different event. That just seems a bit strange to me. But I get that they kind of want as many people to get them as a chance. But at the same time, I think if it's like a Worlds promo, it should just be a Worlds promo, really, honestly. It makes sense for that to be a thing. But in terms of collectability out the box, so we've obviously got multiple rarities now. The Marvel is, one of the newer rarities that we have, even though it's been out for quite a few sets now. And is there enough value in the box for it to be collectible? I would say yes. I've collected since Crucible War First Edition. I only recently, within the last 12 months, became a player. I learned to play and played. I played at one event, one call-in. And I go to my armory sometimes. I don't go as much as often as I probably should do. But I'm busy. I don't have the time. And Flesh and Blood is a game that requires a lot of patience, a lot of time. You have to be very methodical with the game. Whereas I play one piece every week and it's just chilled. I'm not bothered about whether I get the win or not. I just want to go hang around with people and, and have fun. With Fab, I feel like it's different. It's a little bit more competitive. And, there's more to the game. So, out the box is their collectability right here. So, I've recently opened up 2 cases of Bright Lights for singles for the store. I got the boxes at 45 quid a box from a store that's no longer running Fab events anymore. That was great. Bright Lights is a set that a lot of people didn't like. It's an okay set, but honestly, the fact that a lot of people haven't opened it in a long period of time now, I think when the set came out, people opened it, and since then, not really many people have. At least in the UK, it means that a lot of the singles have held good value, and I actually end up making money on that, which was rare for Flesh and Blood. The EV is generally very not positive at all. On release, you may do well. Like Heavy Hit was amazing on release. Dust Till Dawn did pretty good. I think just after the release. I think it dipped and then went back a bit as the Prism stonks started going up. Obviously, we've got Mistveil coming up next, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. We've got a lot of amazing Marvels that look really good. The set looks absolutely fantastic. Will the value of cards stay? Will they grow? Will it tank? We don't know until the set comes out, obviously. But I think the game is in a state where a lot of people are just a little bit confused or on the fence, or they're not really sure what they want. I think there's a lot that is collectible, but I think the value not moving is a big issue for some people. Now, for me, at the end of the day, collecting doesn't mean that the value is going to increase all the time. Let's be honest here. We're not here talking about investing. We're talking about collecting. And people might want to do binder sets. They might just want to do, a non-foil set, a complete mask set with the rainbow foils. They might just want to collect the marvels, like the dragons in Uprising, or the angels in Dust Till Dawn, or the weapons in Dynasty. Honestly, I think that side of it in terms of collectability is good. I think when you look at the rest of the set, when you compare it to other card games, does it have subsets? I think subsets is something that Pokemon did really well when it started doing it with like shining cards, then you had crystals, you had shinings, and then you have, people just want to collect all the EXs. Maybe just want to collect all the full arts, and we got the trainer galleries of stuff, the trainers, like the full art trainers. There's always something with Pokemon, maybe Radiant. There's always little subsets here. And I think that's something that Flesh and Blood could do, is have these little subsets within a set. Kind of like they did with the non-foil Angels, but maybe have something a bit better than that. Something that's a little bit more collectible. So the extended arts, I think, is a really good idea. I love the extended arts in sets. I think they're fantastic. You get an opportunity to get a card with really cool art. I think extended arts work really well with Fab. And like the Majestic ones are like really hard to pull. From like Everfest. I really liked Everfest. I think is such a fantastic set because there's so much to go there. Obviously you got the cold foils and stuff, and there's a lot of cold foils that aren't great. But you got the extended arts. You got the Majestic extended arts as well, which are really hard to pull. Then you've got sets like Dust Till Dawn, where again you've got the Angels, you Uprising, you've got the Dragons. The new Marvels in this set look like they're going to be quite collectible. I think it just depends on your opinion of what does collectible actually mean. I think a lot of people have been so negative for a long time. They've been out the game. Let's be honest. If you haven't been buying anything for a couple of years, do you really want to stay in Fab? I don't know. It's a question that I ask myself here. If I hadn't bought any Fab for a couple of years, like if I was just a collector, I don't play the game. Maybe I don't know how to play, or I have played, but I just don't play anymore. Which is highly likely that's going to happen to me. I still want to be able to play, so I can go to events and do side events and stuff, and just have a bit of fun. You know what I mean? But if I haven't been collecting, and I haven't collected and bought really for a couple of years, say Uprising was my last set, why am I still in Fab? What am I hoping for here? Obviously, that early surge of, surge of like collecting, investing and stuff has gone. We had that and it's gone now. It's changed. The game has changed. It's a player's game. And then it's a collector's game secondly. Now, that doesn't mean that they should alienate collectors at all. I wish we'd have had Collectors Week again this year, which we didn't. Usually it's early April, which we didn't have this year. I think Collectors Week is great. I think having that information is really good. But I think Fab, to me, is a game that the art itself is something that people want to collect. It sells. But I think that Fab can do a lot more in terms of collectible. I think the different products that they release, I think, is a good indicator. I have said in the past I would like tins. The name is in my username, Poketin King. I always collected tins. I like tins. Now, I know they are experimenting. Obviously, they're doing the Armory decks, which I've seen the deck list for the Kyo one. It looks okay. Kyo is probably going to... LL is picking up so many points at the moment in these last few ProQuests and stuff. But they're obviously doing that box that comes with the Blitz decks and some packs, which I think is a fantastic idea. I think it's the same boxes they gave us at Worlds, where you had your playmat in and your promos and stuff and your sleeves. I think that box looks stunning. I think that's quite cool. I think giving people more of an opportunity... I think subsets, one, is something that I'd really like to see. Other products, exploring other products is something, again, I'd like to see. Now, I'm not saying they have to do that now. I know this takes time. I'm not expecting any of this within a short period of time. You know, this could be in a couple of years down the line. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving Fab regardless of what happens. I'm here to stay. I'll either play, I'll collect, but you know, I'll still make content. You know, I'll still engage because I love the game. I think the game's fantastic. All the positive things, all the things I've heard in the last few months from LSS, from James White, from collectors that are in that inner circle, are all positive. And I can only think that the game is going to continue growing and getting better. So I think the answer really is, yes, Fab is collectible. Now, it might not be collectible in the way that some people think it is, but really, when you have to ask yourself, what else are you collecting? You know, what else are you collecting outside of Fab? I think a lot of people, Fab is sometimes one of their only games that they're involved in. Fab is different than Magic. It is Magic. Is Magic collectible now? I mean, people are buying up, you know, still buying up a lot of the Abu stuff. I've heard people picking up 7th edition and some of those earlier sets, but obviously that has nostalgia there. Whereas Fab is only 5 years in November. So it's, you know, it's like you can still collect things, right? I mean, do binder sets of the first 3 sets, first edition or unlimited? I think the unlimited sets are great anyway. Maybe you want to do like 9.5 angels, 9.5 dragons, 9.5 cold foil legendaries and fables. That would be a cool thing to do. That's what I'm trying to do. I think it's going to take time. I'll be happy with 9, honestly. I don't know if I'm going to get... I think the shard is probably something that I'll get soon. But I want to get the tunic next. Alpha tunic will be something. But again, that's me thinking about collecting. Like, there's so many things you can collect. The money side of it doesn't have to always matter. I understand when you're buying things and putting money into it, you want to know that what you're buying, you could get money back. But that's not collecting. That's not collecting. It's not always about the monetary value. Do you think people collecting binder sets where they want to pull the cards themselves, they'll spend thousands opening packs to complete a set that could cost them 500 quid? Do you think they care? No, they don't. They don't care. So it doesn't always have to come down to the monetary value. And that's on someone who runs a business, and most of my content is basically talking about the monetary value. But I don't think it has to be the end and all, always, when it comes to card games. I think you can just collect for the love of it. And there's plenty to collect in Flesh and Blood. So let me know in the comments below what you think of that. I know it's going to be a topic that's going to stir some conversation and debate. I think I've spoken to a lot of people that are very strong on either side of it. Let me know. Again, it's my opinions. It's my channel. So, you know, feel free to put comments telling me to fuck myself. I don't care. Like, again, it's my channel. Links in the description below, website. You know, we got a Discord. We bring the conversation to Discord if you want. But there's a Discord link in the description below. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.